Welcome to Vastum. About 4.5 billion kilometers from home, in the deep and icy silence of the cosmos, floats a giant of a hypnotic and deep blue. This is Neptune, the 8th and final planet of our solar system, home to the most violent winds humanity has ever witnessed. But the most fascinating and perhaps most tragic story of this distant world lies not in its cyclonic storms, it lies in its largest moon, a moon that moves against all rules, a moon that orbits in the wrong direction, an outsider that shouldn't be there, a moon that is, in fact, a prisoner, captured billions of years ago in a cataclysmic gravitational ballet. This is the story of Triton, Neptune's renegade moon, and the incredible secrets it hides beneath its mantle of ice. Secrets that may even include a hidden ocean and the possibility of life. It is here, at more than 30 times the distance from Earth to the Sun, that we find it. Neptune. If Earth were the size of a coin, Neptune would be almost a kilometer away. At this immense distance, its journey around the Sun is epic. It takes 165 Earth years to complete a single lap. No human being has lived long enough to see Neptune complete a full orbit. For most of human history, its existence was completely unknown. It is not a bright and obvious point in the sky, like Venus or Jupiter. Its discovery was not a fluke, but one of the greatest triumphs of the human mind and the power of mathematics. The story begins in the mid-19th century. Astronomers, armed with Newton's theory of gravitation, had mapped the orbits of the known planets with impressive precision. However, there was a problem with Uranus. The 7th planet simply didn't behave as it should. Its orbit had a small but persistent wobble. It seemed to be being pulled or perturbed by something invisible and unknown further out. In France, a brilliant and ambitious mathematician named Urbain Le Verrier dedicated himself to solving this mystery. In England, a young and equally talented mathematician from Cambridge, John Couch Adams, also began working on the problem independently, both using only the power of Newton's math and the tip of their pens, tried to calculate the mass and position of a hypothetical planet that could explain Uranus's perturbations. Adams was the first to finish his calculations in 1845, but struggled to be taken seriously by the Astronomer Royal, George Airy, who didn't pay due attention to his predictions. Le Verrier, on the other hand, published his results and, frustrated with the inaction of French observatories, sent his predictions to the Berlin Observatory. On the night of September 23, 1846, astronomer Johann Galle, aided by his student Heinrich d'Arrest, pointed the telescope at the exact location predicted by Le Verrier. In less than an hour of searching, there it was, a small bluish disk, less than a degree from where math said it would be. The solar system officially had an 8th planet. As we virtually approach this world, its color becomes overwhelming, a deep and electric blue, more vibrant and saturated than the pale blue-green of its neighbor Uranus. This stunning color doesn't come from an ocean. Neptune doesn't have a solid surface where one can land. It is an ice giant. It is believed that at its center exists a rocky core the size of Earth, composed of silicates and metals. This core is wrapped by a dense, hot, and icy mantle. Not ice in the sense we know, but a supercompressed and electrically conductive soup of water, ammonia, and methane. Above all, floats a thick atmosphere of hydrogen and helium, the most common elements in the universe. The magic of Neptune's color comes from traces of methane gas in this upper atmosphere. Methane gas absorbs red light from the sun and reflects blue light back into the cosmos, giving the planet its spectacular hue. But Neptune's stunning beauty hides an unimaginably violent nature. It is home to the fastest winds recorded in the solar system, with supersonic gusts reaching speeds of up to 2,100 kilometers per hour. When NASA's Voyager 2 probe passed by this system in 1989, our first and so far only visit to this distant world, it saw the scars of these furious winds. The most prominent was the Great Dark Spot, a gigantic anticyclonic storm the size of our own planet. Unlike Jupiter's Great Red Spot, which is a persistent storm for centuries, Neptune's spots are transient. When the Hubble Space Telescope looked at Neptune a few years later, the spot had disappeared. The great mystery is the origin of the energy for such atmospheric fury. Neptune is so far from the Sun that it receives less than 0.1% of the sunlight Earth receives. The answer seems to lie inside the planet. Neptune radiates more than double the energy it receives from the Sun, an internal heat bubbling from the inside out. This heat is thought to be generated by the planet's slow gravitational contraction, a process that stirs its icy atmosphere and fuels the most extreme winds humanity has ever witnessed. Around the planet, a system of faint, dark and dusty rings traces an almost invisible path. Orbiting among them and beyond them, there is a family of moons. To date, 14 have been discovered. Most are small, irregular bodies, likely captured asteroids, but one stands out from all the others, one that defies everything we know about what moon systems should be like. Our journey revealed a planet of extremes, a world of blue beauty and supersonic fury, but the real jewel of this system, the protagonist of our story, is its strangest moon, Triton. Its discovery was almost as quick as Neptune's own. Just 17 days after Johann Galler confirmed the existence of the 8th planet, British amateur astronomer and brewer William Lassell found a small point of light orbiting it. From the beginning, there was something deeply wrong with this moon. In astronomy, objects tend to follow rules established by physics. Moons that form together with their parent planet condense from a disk of gas and dust surrounding the young planet. This disk spins in the same direction as the planet itself. Consequently, moons formed from this disk orbit in the same direction. This is called a prograde orbit. Almost all large moons in the solar system, including ours, follow this rule. Triton is not normal. Triton orbits backward, with an impressive diameter of 2,700 kilometers, making it the 7th largest moon in the solar system. Triton moves in a retrograde orbit. For such a large object, this is a glaring impossibility under the standard moon formation model. A moon the size of Triton cannot form from the same disk as its planet and end up going backward. The conclusion is, therefore, inevitable and thrilling. It came from somewhere else. Triton is not a native moon, it is an immigrant. If it wasn't born with Neptune, where did it come from? The answer takes us even further out, to the frozen suburbs of the solar system, to a vast and mysterious region known as the Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper Belt is a huge ring of icy bodies stretching beyond Neptune's orbit, a graveyard of relics from the solar system's formation. The most famous of these objects is, of course, the dwarf planet Pluto. And when scientists looked closely at Triton, the puzzle pieces began to fit perfectly. Its composition, its density, about 2.06 grams per cubic centimeter, and the mixture of ices on its surface, nitrogen, methane, carbon monoxide, all point to a shared origin with Kuiper Belt objects. Modern studies reinforce this link, showing that both Triton and Pluto have thin nitrogen atmospheres and remarkably similar surface compositions. Triton is not a birth moon, it is a dwarf planet, a cousin of Pluto that billions of years ago ventured too close to the ice giant Neptune. The capture of an object as massive as Triton isn't simple. The most accepted theory is a gravitational kidnapping involving 3 bodies. Likely Triton wasn't alone. It was part of a binary system, orbiting a companion while both traveled through the Kuiper Belt. Billions of years ago, this pair had a fateful encounter with Neptune. The ice giant's immense gravity acted like a cosmic slingshot, undoing the pair's orbital dance. One member was violently thrown away, never to be seen again, while Triton lost enough energy to be caught in a highly elliptical and retrograde orbit around Neptune. Triton's arrival was a cataclysmic event that destroyed Neptune's original moon system. The entry of this massive intruder, moving against the flow of orbital traffic, would have caused absolute gravitational chaos. Existing moons would have been thrown against each other, shattering, or sent spiraling into Neptune's abyss to be swallowed. Today, the debris of this ancient system may form the small inner moons we see, and the bizarrely long and eccentric orbit of the moon. Nereid may be a surviving testament to that ancient violence. Triton isn't just a moon, it is the usurper, the queen of a kingdom she herself helped destroy, reigning today over the wreckage of the system she annihilated. For nearly 150 years after its discovery, Triton remained little more than a point of light in the most powerful telescopes. All that changed on August 25th, 1989. On that historic day, NASA's Voyager 2 probe, after a 12-year voyage through the solar system, made humanity's first and only close visit to Neptune and its moons. Voyager's cameras turned to Triton, and what they revealed shocked and captivated the scientific community. They revealed a world much stranger, more complex and geologically active than anyone dared imagine. The first thing that shocked scientists was its surface temperature, at a freezing -236 degrees Celsius. Triton holds the record for the coldest place ever directly measured in the solar system. It is a cold so extreme that nitrogen, which on Earth is a gas making up 78% of our air, freezes and falls like snow, forming a vast polar cap of solid nitrogen ice. This icy surface is incredibly reflective, acting like a cosmic mirror that bounces back about 70% of the weak sunlight hitting it. Recent images from the James Webb Space Telescope confirmed this spectacularly. When viewed in infrared, Neptune, which absorbs heat, appears dark, while Triton, highly reflective, shines intensely, brighter than its host planet. The real shock, however, came from its geology. Small, icy worlds so far from the Sun should be geologically dead, inert, and covered in impact craters accumulated over billions of years. But Triton's surface was astonishingly young, with very few craters. Something was renewing the landscape, erasing the scars of time. This was not a dead world, it was a living, dynamic world. Voyager 2 revealed a vast area covered by a bizarre and unique landscape dubbed Cantaloupe Terrain, due to its wrinkled and dimpled appearance, resembling nothing else seen elsewhere in the solar system. The irrefutable and most spectacular proof of Triton's activity came in the form of dark plumes rising from its south polar cap. Voyager 2 captured images of at least 2 active eruptions, jets of dark material being spewed up to 8 kilometers high, where they were then swept horizontally by Triton's thin winds. These were cryovolcanoes, or ice geysers. The proposed mechanism is fascinating. It is believed that weak sunlight, though 900 times dimmer than on Earth, manages to penetrate the upper layer of translucent nitrogen ice. Beneath this layer, a layer of darker material absorbs the light, heating the adjacent nitrogen ice and causing it to sublime, turning directly into gas. The pressure of this nitrogen gas builds up until it ruptures the ice crust in a violent eruption, throwing gas and dark dust particles into the thin atmosphere. This geological activity sustains an extremely thin atmosphere, with a surface pressure less than 1/70,000th of Earth's, composed almost entirely of nitrogen with traces of methane and carbon monoxide. All these clues, a young and renewed surface, active cryovolcanism, point to an even more exciting possibility, the holy grail of modern planetary science, an ocean of liquid water. The heat generated by its violent capture and the continuous tidal friction exerted by Neptune's immense gravity may have been enough to melt Triton's interior. Scientists believe that beneath its icy crust of tens or hundreds of kilometers, a vast global ocean of liquid water may hide. The presence of ammonia, which is abundant in these icy bodies, would act as an effective antifreeze, allowing water to remain liquid at temperatures far below its normal freezing point. Triton thus joins an exclusive and very promising club of ocean worlds, like Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus. The existence of liquid water, an energy source, internal heat, and organic compounds like methane provides the three key ingredients considered necessary for life as we know it. In the coldest place in the solar system, one of the most promising habitats for extraterrestrial life may exist. Triton's story is an epic saga of cosmic kidnapping, cataclysmic destruction, and a surprising rebirth as a geologically active world. But like all great tragedies, this story has an inevitable final act: destruction. The same gravitational force of Neptune that gave Triton its prominence will ultimately be its undoing. Its retrograde orbit, the telltale sign of its foreign origin, is not stable. With every lap it takes around its captor, Neptune's gravity steals a small amount of Triton's orbital energy. This loss of energy causes its orbit to decay, causing it to slowly spiral inward, closer and closer to the ice giant. There is an invisible boundary around every massive planet, a danger zone known as the Roche limit. Inside this limit, the planet's tidal forces, the difference in gravitational pull between the near side and far side of a moon, become stronger than the moon's own gravity holding it together. Scientists predict that in about 3.6 billion years, Triton will cross Neptune's Roche limit. What follows will be one of the most spectacular events in the future history of our solar system. Triton will be ripped apart. Its body, which traveled from the depths of the Kuiper Belt and survived a violent capture, will be dismembered by the relentless force of Neptune's gravity. But it won't just be an end, it will be a glorious transformation. The debris of the shattered moon won't immediately fall into the planet. Instead, it will spread out into a vast and shimmering sheet of icy material in orbit. Triton, the moon, will die, and in its place, a new and magnificent ring system will be born that will rival or even surpass the beauty of Saturn's. For a time, perhaps for millions of years, Neptune will become the most stunning planet in the solar system, adorned with the glittering jewels of its destroyed prisoner. Our journey to this dynamic and distant duo leaves us with more questions than answers. What really drives Neptune's supersonic winds? What is the true nature and origin of Triton's bizarre cantaloupe terrain? And the deepest and most tantalizing question of all, is there really a liquid water ocean beneath that mantle of ice? And could something live in it? Since Voyager 2's fleeting pass in 1989, no other spacecraft has visited this enigmatic system. Mission proposals like NASA's Triton and Neptune Odyssey have been conceived by scientists who desperately yearn to return and unravel these mysteries. China has also expressed interest in sending an exploration mission to Neptune in the coming decades. For now, Neptune and Triton remain a powerful reminder of how little we know about our own solar system. They show us that even in the coldest, darkest, and most distant places, the universe can be unexpectedly dynamic, violent, and perhaps wonderfully alive. This journey took us to the icy limits of our knowledge, to a world of supersonic winds and a captured moon with a deep secret. What did you find most fascinating in Triton's story? Its violent capture, its ice geysers erupting in extreme cold, the possibility of a hidden ocean, or its tragic and spectacular fate? Leave your comment below and share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this trip to the ends of the solar system, Don't forget to leave your like to support the channel. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next journeys through the cosmos. There are many worlds to explore. Thanks for watching.